Okay, so I'm going to get you the correct codes in a little bit. These codes here to the right, if you're on that quiz, are not the right codes, so don't worry about those codes. I'll change them, I'll put them on the whiteboard. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting. I know we kind of went backwards on this idea. We went from simplifying to multiplying and dividing, and now we're moving to adding and subtracting. I know you guys covered this idea in Miss Cassiano's class. We needed to really tighten up the gears here and figure out how to add and subtract rational expressions well. It's nice that you have two classes. You can get a lot of practice, but you really do have to start, more or less get it done. Okay. Here's a little bit of review. I'm going to factor everything and flip everything over, color coordinate everything. I'm going to pause the video so when you're you can see everything show up all at once. Okay, so what I did is I factored everything out for you already. The 12 in red, I crossed it out in red. It matches down here. I crossed out the 5a squared b squared in green. This one in blue, and what you notice, it was on the top, now it's on the bottom. And the 10ab, I crossed out in purple and rewrote it in purple. Division turns into multiplication. Since division turned into multiplication, now we can cross things out. 2 C's and a D. 2 C's and a D, those can go away. Let's change this color so we can identify it a little better. I see a 5 and a 5. See an AB and an AB. I think that's it. I don't see anything else. It's the same on top. I don't see any more numbers in the denominator. All my letters on top are crossed out, so let's put everything else back together. 2 times 2 times 3, that's 12. Times 2 is 24. And there's no more variables on top. On the denominator, I have A times D. Okay, I can do the same thing with the item to the right, with your do now question to the right. I'm gonna factor everything out, color coordinate everything, and then I'll pause the video so we can see everything all at once. We won't waste too much time on seeing the same. Okay, so I factored everything out. Again, red on red, just cross out the red on top over here. Blue on the bottom, now it's on the top because it flipped over. Purple on top, now it's on the bottom. I use the Xbox method, kind of did it off the side. That's my scratch work. And I'm going to change this into multiplication instead of division. Okay, so we're going to change it. I'm going to cross out anything that's the same on the top and it's the same on the bottom. So I see a plus 1, and I see an x plus 1. Remember, those have to go together. I never cross out the x and the x and the 1 and the 1. The whole thing goes together. This x minus 1, which is a group, crosses out this x minus 1, and that's it. The 6 and the 2 would reduce if one of them was on the bottom, but they're not. So 6 times 2 is 12, and on the denominator, x plus 2. Okay, again, here's the vocabulary words, same words as they were this whole unit. Remember, factors and multiples are exactly the same thing. Very, very important. Okay, teacher number 1. Whenever we add fractions and our denominators, this is very, very important, our denominators should be the same. Whenever they're the same, and I add or subtract them together, my solution, my denominator, should also be the same. Okay, so today we're making sure that everything remains the same in the denominator. Okay, the numerators we can add together. It's plus. Let's change those colors a little bit. Let's do x, blue and red and green. So I'll have the plus. That's the one in the middle, and then I'll have the 3x, and then I'll have the 6. Okay, so I color coordinated 3 in red, the plus in blue, the green in 6. Okay, now it looks like we're almost done, but again, we always reduce fractions when we can. When we were adding, subtracting before, or multiplying, dividing, we can reduce early. We can't do that anymore. We have to reduce at the end. Okay, so here, I'm going to rewrite this as 3, or GCF, because 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So the GCF of 3, and the remainder is going to be x plus 2. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is 6, and the denominator x plus 2. Now, these can go away, and our final answer is going to be 3, or 3 over 1. Okay. Students 2, let's see what we get. Again, when we add these together and our denominators today, all of our denominators will be the same. It won't always be like that, but for today it is. Equals 15 on the bottom. Again, we'll do the addition, and then we'll do 5n, and then we'll have our 7n. Combine like terms, simplify as much as you can. I have now 35n. Oh, sorry, 5 plus 7 is 12n over 15. And I can simplify this because these are both numbers divisible by 3. So I will rewrite this as 12 on top, which can be 2 times 2 times 3 times n. Again, this is monomial factoring. The denominator is going to be 5 times 3. And these two items here make a 1. So that's why they cross out. Okay. Multiplicative inverse property. And our remainder should be 4n over 5. Okay, again, the item that's going to change here is not too much. It is just going to be the fact that it's going to be subtraction. Okay, the last two practice problems that we'll have on here, the last two teacher dues, you're going to have to distribute that item on the bottom. Okay, so let's do the first item, 3x plus 2, and the second item, 4x, and the item in the middle, minus. The denominator is x minus 2. Let's combine our like terms on top, 3x and 4. Those two together make 3x and let's look at this again. That's my bad. Negative 4x. So 3 minus 4 is going to give us negative 1x. Okay. So negative 1x, that's this one and this one, and then positive 2. Now the denominator will have just our x minus 2. Now again, this 1 is not necessary in the front, so we can get rid of that. And they look very, very similar. So what I'm going to do is on the top number, I'm going to take out a negative. So I'll rewrite this as negative x minus 2. And in the denominator, we'll just leave it as x minus 2. Let's double check. Negative times x, negative times negative 2, positive 2. They are the same. I just took out a negative 1. And I can cross out these two items. And I'd make a gigantic 1. They can go away. And I'll have a final answer of negative 1. Okay. Okay, the subtraction is a little bit trickier of the two. Again, the order matters. And that negative, a lot of people forget where to put it and how many items to share it to. Okay, you share it to everything in the second term. So this is going to be y plus 6 stays the same the whole way through when they are the same. Okay, again, y plus 7. And then we're going to have a negative sign, negative, and then the second numerator, 1. Okay, let's simplify everything. These two items are the same. Positive 7 and negative 1, those are like terms. We get positive 6 and the y in front, so y plus 6, and the denominator y plus 6. But you notice a lot of these problems, they will reduce. Not all of them, but it kind of gives you an idea that what the makers of these questions are looking for your ability to identify items that are very, very similar. So this makes a very gigantic 1. Okay. All right, this one gets a little bit more complicated. What you'll notice is that this is, well, let's start off with what we know. Denominators, the same. denominators the same, therefore our solution, our denominators should be the same. Okay, 9x cubed plus 27x squared. But what you notice is this one is so much more involved in these last four. They're really, really simple. Okay, but like this 15 that was over here, it's going to be able to be factored. When I see that the 9 and the 27, those are both divisible by 3 or 9, and the x's as well. Okay, so here let's do this in highlighter also, just so we can get a more visual idea. 5x minus 4. Here's where our 5x minus 4 is going to be. Here's our x plus 6. Here's our x plus 6. And in the middle we'll have the minus. Okay, it's going to match. We're just going to put everything together. Okay, 5x minus 4. Good. Minus sign, and then x minus 6. This is the tricky part right here. Okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to circle this. Pay attention. That's very, very important. It's very, very confusing. Okay, so what we'll do is we're actually going to distribute this item right here, because this negative sign right here goes to both the x and the negative 6. Here we only had one item to make a minus. Here we only had one item to make a negative. Now we're going to have 2. So let's rewrite this numerator as 5x minus 4, and then we'll have negative x. Negative times x is going to be negative x, and then negative times a negative is positive 6. Okay, our denominator stays the same, 9x cubed plus 27x squared. Okay, the color coordinated here, 5 and x make 4x. 5 minus 1 is 4, and then negative 4 and positive 6 make positive 2. Okay, our denominator, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start factoring this out, just because I think it's going to cancel this out over here. I'll take out a 9, because both of these are divisible by 9, x squared, because they both have 2 x's. So 9 times 1x, and then 9 times what looks like 3. That's good. Okay. Here in the numerator, I can reduce that into 2 times x, not x, 9 to 2 times 2x plus 1. And you know what? I thought it was going to cancel. I was wrong. 9x squared, x plus 3. That's okay. We can leave it like that. Okay. Students do same thing here. Be careful. You have to distribute this negative here to everything in the second term. Okay. So denominators 18xy should remain the same all the way through. All the way through. Okay, our numerators, x plus y, and then negative times 6, negative 6x, and negative times positive y is going to be negative y. Okay, y, positive and negative, they cancel. It's negative 6, and positive x make negative 5x over 18xy. Now 5 and 18 aren't going to have any common factors, so we'll just cancel the x's out, and our final answer should be negative 5 over 18y. Okay, here's your exit slip. Again, there's 2 questions on Edmodo. I'm really quite disappointed, to be honest with you. Only about 50 of you guys out of 150, that's 1/3 of you guys, are completing the exit slip and turning them in. They're all going to be late, and at the end of this unit, before the test starts, a lot of you guys are going to have NPs. I'll be honest with you. You got to get them done, and we're not doing that right now. Okay. Collaborative group, there's a assignment on your desk. Instructions are there. Cards are there. Reduce, match them. Okay. Independent work, your rev prep, dividing rational expressions should be available for you now. And direct instruction, we'll do some practice on the back. Answer any questions. We'll do this in terms of perimeter as well. Whiteboard or your iPad at awwapp.com.